I want to paint a picture for you of a challenge that you may have. That challenge is I want to filter out telnet and web traffic between servers in the same server farm. But I want to allow them to intercommunicate with other protocols because they're clustered and they need to talk most protocols. So I put them in the same VLAN. If you're clustered, you're typically going to be in the same VLAN. But you don't want X, Y, and Z protocols to communicate. And I listed off telnet and web. Very possible. How are you going to do that? Can you do that with a VACL? No. Can you do that with a RACL? No. But you can do it with a VACL. PACLs, RACLs, and VACLs. Crazy world that we live in. What are each of these? Well, a PACL is something that can say, I only want traffic sourced from this MAC address or this IP address. It's not going to cut it. A RACL is a full access list. If you're not familiar with the term RACL, that's because usually when you talk about an access list, it is a RACL. It's assumed that if you configure an access list on a router, it's a router access list, which allows you to do things like set up extended access lists that permit and deny based on source, destination, transport layer protocol, and port. That's a RACL. And you apply that to a router interface, a layer 3 interface. That layer 3 interface may be an SVI that you would configure on a multi-layer switch. But going back to the challenge, it wasn't being routed. That traffic wasn't being routed. I want to filter traffic within a VLAN that is not leaving its VLAN. I basically want to lock down what people can do, what hosts can do inside of the same VLAN. What if you wanted to say, I don't want people to play that computer game anymore, which is running on a LAN. Somebody set up a server in your LAN in the VLAN, and they're saying, you know what? Let's have everybody else run this LAN computer game. Could have done that a long time ago. There are old games like Doom. I think that ran on port 666. You could have said, I want to deny port 666. I forget if it was UDP or TCP. That's not the point. You could have controlled that. But it's much more practical in the context of our end user VLANs or server farm for typical protocols that are considered threats like telnet or FTP. Okay? So this is a very powerful technology that we're going to call VACLs, which stands for VLAN Access Control Lists.